and start this conversation. First of all, I just want to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for attending the session. If you do not get from the session what you need to get, let me know and we can have a one-on-one. I also have with me Madi McEwen and Megann Wither. Would the two of you just introduce yourselves quickly?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Madi McEwen. I am the program associate with UB's School of Management, and I assist Marsha with the leadership coaching certificate program. Thank you all for being here. And one housekeeping item, we are recording the session. So if you would not like to be recorded, you can turn off your video. And thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Megann Wither. I am a second generation coach, as my dad also got some really great training from Marsha when she taught at Georgetown, which is very exciting. So I was able to go through that and get some perspective on here. Professionally, I've been coaching since 2021, and I'm a graduate of the program, and I'm so excited to be here and excited to tell you all about it.
Great. So, and I always try to get a graduate to come because I think that our graduates, they have, a much more credible voice, because so I always ask one of the students, would you come and just talk about your experience? So that's why Megan's here. And I apologize, I am just getting over some very serious illness, and so I'm very stuffed, and hopefully so you can still hear me okay. All right, so let me go ahead and jump in. Let me expand this. All right, so here's the agenda. I'm going to talk about what coaching is, because there's some confusion. And once you hear what coaching is, you may decide that's not for you. So I want to be very clear about that is. I want to talk about the team around me. It's not just me doing this. There's a whole group of us doing this. Who the program's for, a brief overview of the program, descriptions of the courses, and really just anything that you need today. So the definition of a coach, take a moment and read through this. And I would love to see in the chat if there's anything that is noteworthy to you. Put something in the chat. Hi, Kelly. Welcome from London. How awesome is that? When I look at this, there's a couple of words that are, now I think, of course, I put in red the words that are really important, but there is one word that I think is the most important. Oh, okay, Megan, you already got it. Megan is right. It's about self-sustaining. So that's the most important word here. So as a coach, your job is to work yourself out of a job. So you really want to help equip somebody to become their own coach so that the growth is continuous, that it no longer depends upon you being in the room with them or having the conversation with them. The self-sustaining piece of this is really, really important. Oh, Martha, I love what you said. A coach is someone that sees your growth potential when it's not even visible to you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I go into every engagement assuming that people have much greater potential than I'm even able to see. Okay, so what coaching is not? There's a lot of confusion around this. It's not therapy, but I will tell you, you will go to a place that feels very therapy to you if you're not used to talking about emotions. Coaching is very emotional, and we can't get away from that. Megan, do you want to say something about that? Because it's, this is something that comes up a lot.
Sure, absolutely. So sometimes when I'll go to meet new clients, things like that, I'll ask them the very first question, what experience do you have with coaching? And most of the time it's very small. So I'll explain to new clients that therapy helps you look into the past and helps your now, whereas coaching will look at your now and help you make moves and position yourself for the future. I do smile because Marsha knows that my coaching experience was actually one that came pretty darn close to therapy and actually helped me seek the tools outside of our class to further that growth within myself. It was very necessary to work through that so that I could show up effectively for my clients.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for that. And it will get emotional again. You'll go to that place. And when I have students in my class, I tell them, eventually, probably not that far away, someone's going to cry in front of you, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean it's therapy. That means that they are they feel safe with you. And I hold that very sacred. When somebody is able to release their emotions, that's a very positive thing as a coach. Now, we don't stay there, of course, but we acknowledge it. We acknowledge it and accept it and actually honor it, and then move on. To Megan's point, you then are moving forward to help solve issues for them or growth or whatever it is. It's not giving advice. I have everybody watch a video before they come into the program, and it's called The Advice Monster. And the Advice Monster really is about listening more, talking less. So coaching is not about giving advice. Giving advice is mentoring or managing, but it's definitely not coaching. It's not having the solutions. And that's hard for us to not have the solutions. We like having the solutions because it makes us feel validated. But our goal is not to have the solutions. Our goal is to help our clients, our coachees, to have the solutions. And it's not leading conversations. So, and this should make you ecstatic, because one of the biggest hurdles that coaches have to get over is that they feel like they have to lead the conversation and make sure the conversation is going great. And if it's not, they start almost like entertaining, like throwing questions at them. But your conversations will unfold as they reveal, as they talk, as they open up. So I always have my students to like write out a list of questions that they want to ask. And then right before the conversation, I have them tear it up and throw it out. If you have a list of questions that you're planning to ask, it's not coaching. And so coaching conversations unfold organically. And so it's not about leading conversations. All right, I've had enough of you guys. Stop. Okay, here are the types of people that tend to go through the program. Number one are leaders of people who want to become better leaders and better managers. I would say probably 30% of the people who come through the program are in that category. They may have the desire or interest to become a coach later, but they're really using the coaching skills internally. The second one are professional coaches who aspire to become more of a professional coach. So there's a lot of us out there who coach, but this category is more about like the field that I'm in this bucket. So I'm a full-time professional coach, and I coach people at multiple organizations. And so that's this group. And people who come from the program, probably over half of people who come through the program are in this category. And then of course there's these internal practitioners that are involved in leadership development, and understanding more about coaching and using their coaching skills is really important to them. So those are generally, and that doesn't mean those are the only people that come through, but I would say that that's, it makes up the bulk of people who come through. All right. And Megan, do you have any other input to this? You tell them where you came in and where you are now.
Sure. So when I first started in 2021 with Marsha, I had just had my fourth child, and I was in a little bit of a space of, oh gosh, what do I do with my life now? And one of the things that I'm very blessed with is a wonderful partner in this life, my husband, and he asked, what do you like about your job most? And I said, I love talking to people. I love helping people grow. And he says, well, why don't you do that? And it'd been kind of a conversation between the two of us for about 10 years as to, should I do this? Should I not? I don't know. Who am I? Da, 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 da. And my husband just, it was such a great encouragement of something that I had already known myself, right? He's a great coach. Maybe I should refer him to this class. But he encouraged me to sign up, and I applied and was a manager of people. Still am a manager of people. I manage a team of 60 direct reports at this time. Started out with 3 on the team, and we've grown the program and all that stuff. I work in finance during the day, but by night I'm a professional coach. And actually, I was just talking to Marsha before you guys jumped on the call today about a new coaching program that I'm launching with a nonprofit in Louisiana, which is just a really exciting story arc to all of this. So if that's a recommendation to get into the coaching program, I think that is one to listen to.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks.
All right. Yes. And so Kelly asked the question, do you have to be in one of these groups? Absolutely not. No. Nope. You can be, something completely outside of this. And the reality of the matter is coaching helps everybody. Having coaching skills, I use them at home as much or more than I do on the job, particularly with my teenager. It works, it just works. All right, so here's the team around me. You've got me, I'm the lead faculty. Sherry Mooney is kind of like our COO. She manages the faculty coaches, which I'm going to speak about in a moment. Ryan Dunlap is my teaching partner. And of course, you just met Maddie. So, and there's many others. And, one of the nice things about this program is it's housed in a College of Management, School of Management. And so we have resources at our fingertips. We really get any faculty that we want. So we get great guest speakers and so on. But these are the 4 people. You'll be seeing us constantly. Okay, faculty coaches. So the faculty coaches are the heart and soul, and this Megann is one of those too. It's another reason I wanted her to come. But the faculty coaches are people that have graduated from this program, and then they come back, in their own will. It's not like a prereq; they don't have to come back. But we want everybody to come back because it's a great program, because we change the curriculum every year, but more importantly, because the faculty coaches are the heart and soul of this. So we have, when we meet, there's going to be 2, basically the classroom class time is in 2 pieces, bifurcated by, the beginning of it is about me teaching or Ryan teaching or a guest speaker. And then the second half is practicing what you've just learned. And so those skill practices are conducted and facilitated by the faculty coaches. So you will have a faculty coach with you every time you have a skill practice, helping you, guiding you, giving you ideas, feedback, everything. And they are the reason that this program works so well. So I can't expand the program based on my own ability to manage more hours. The faculty coaches are they are the ones that make this possible. So Megann, would you touch on that too? What's it like to be a faculty coach for you?
Absolutely. So being a faculty coach is a joy. I look forward to my Tuesday nights. It's my respite from the day. My family knows that, as I said earlier, I'm a mother of 4, so we've got a pretty big, crazy household. And my family knows on Tuesday nights, that's when Mama has class. It is the time that I take for myself every week to connect with this wonderful group of people. And I think just to kind of talk a little bit about what you had said, Marsha, as far as, these folks are with you for the entire class. Typically there's 3 people in a coaching circle. And so you will coach, person A coaches person B coaches person C, and person C coaches person A. And the faculty coach sits back, takes some notes, and watches what's going on to give you some pertinent thoughts. Hey, why, what was the purpose of asking this particular question versus maybe if you had asked this particular question, where do you think you would have gotten there? Or it's almost like helping the coach kind of break down what's a barrier for them to becoming a really great coach. That those folks, the faculty coaches, come back, like Marsha said, every single year. So it's almost like, by joining this class, not almost like it is, when you join this class, you're joining a network of people. And I can call any one of them. I've called Sherry to look at some contracts that I had to, look and decipher with. Marsha is going to be looking over some promotional things for our program down here. So I'm really excited about sharing this part of the program for you. You become part of this community, and that in itself is just so valuable.
Absolutely. The network, Megann, you're spot on. The network is probably the most valuable thing you gain from this. And again, it's not just the cohort that you go through this program with, it's the faculty coaches that also have been through it and get to know you. And then so many of them continue working with our graduates, so, I look at bios daily. I just had another student call me today. Can you talk to me about succession planning before this interview? So we stay really involved, not just during the program, but after it also. Okay, let me talk about why this is different. One, the continued learning, and I just talked about that. It's not a one and done type of thing. Now, this is 8 months, but after the 8 months, you can be as involved or uninvolved as you want. So there's a bunch of stuff that happens between graduation and the next cohort. And of course, when the next cohort starts, you can be as involved as you want. And hopefully, you will love the program and you'll come back as a faculty coach because it is so valuable, not just to the current students, but to you also as a faculty coach. The teaching model is different. I have kind of a reverse classroom. I said that you will be coaching you will start coaching night one. And what I have found over the years, I've been teaching coaching for like 20 years, and I started out at Georgetown and then at Northwestern and now here. What I have found is that people are profoundly uncomfortable doing something that they haven't seen. And I get it. So am I. And so I am really careful not to ask people to do something that's going to make them uncomfortable. And so what I do is I create videos and send them out between classes, and basically just modeling how to conduct the type of coaching that you're going to conduct, in a few days, this coming week. And so you're actually going to see me do it, so that, when you come into class, you're not kind of in a panic because you don't know what you're doing. And actually the reality is you don't know what you're doing, and that's okay because no one does. And so I give everybody a model some way. Sometimes it's someone else, not me, but I videotape these coaching snippets and send it out for everyone so that they feel comfortable. Megan, does that talk a little bit about the value of the videos I send out? Because I kind of do a reverse classroom.
Sure. And as a faculty coach who's now, this is my third time coming back to the class, is every time you get something different from it. Like Marsha said, they make small adjustments and tweaks to enhancements to the curriculum each year. And so every year that I come back as a faculty coach, I just learn more and more. I would say the videos are amazing. Marsha talked about how she will model the behavior for you so that you kind of know what to expect coming into that, or at least have something to base your own style and your own interpretation off of when you're doing your own coaching sessions. But I'll tell you, the videos that you share, Marsha, the it's not the nail, the backwards riding bicycle,
Yeah.
all those things. I mean, they've been dinner conversations at my house, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, guys, I have to show you this. This is so cool. So I can tell my 14-year-old that, no, my brain just isn't as elastic as yours.
Yeah.
So you're going to learn new things, but it's just fascinating stuff. And it really can apply all those things to my daily life and my professional life.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. The price of the program is incredible. So similarly planned programs like at Hudson or Columbia or Northwestern, Georgetown, they all range from I'm going to say 18,000 to 25,000. The program I taught in Northwestern was 25,000. This one is 6,800. Hogan, that saved the money that you saved. I couldn't suggest more to apply it to this optional certification. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Hogan, but it's an assessment system that's in very high demand, and it sells itself. And we partner with Hogan on this, and they give it to us for about half price for our students. And they don't do that for anyone else. There's no institution partnering with Hogan like we are on this front. And that instrument, in my mind, is every bit as important as the coaching certification. I get hired all the time just because I'm Hogan certified. It's a personality assessment. If you want to take a look at it, it's called hoganassessments.com. And you will not regret it. So again, I think we pay $1,700 for it. I paid close to $3,000 for it almost 30 years ago when it was a pretty new tool. And I had to travel to do it. But now what they're willing to do is do 4 half days online with our cohorts for about half price. And I always tell people, run, don't walk, to sign up for this part. So getting the certification is great. Getting the Hogan certification is also great.
I wanted to bring your attention to a question in the chat, Marsha, because I think it would just be really pertinent time to mention. I don't know if I'm stealing your thunder, but
No.
Kelly had asked, is the coaching certificate accredited by a recognized international organization such as ICF or the EMCC? Would love to know if I can work as a coach in Europe with this certification or I have to take additional training. I know that we're associated with the GSAC,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you can speak way more about that than I can.
Absolutely. The first thing to know is that you don't need any additional certification. No one needs a certification on top of a certification. In fact, the reality is you don't even need a certification. I would say the majority of coaches don't have any certification at all. They've got great work experience, and that's how they are such good coaches. So you don't even need this one from UB. I think it makes you better, and I think it offers you a lot. But because I don't believe in a certification on top of a certification, I'm not going to move towards EMCC or ICF, because it's the people that come through my program, it's expensive for them. And so to put another certification on top of it would probably double the price. And that's why some of the other programs are more expensive. Now, if you choose to go through those certifications after you graduate from this program, you can do that for sure. But I tell you, you don't need it at all. Megan, have you ever been asked about ICF or EMCC?
I've been asked about it, but it's never stopped me from doing anything. And I will say that the going through this program allows you to connect with the network, but also to connect with opportunities to work. So I just got an email this week from Maddie. Thank you so much. For another coaching engagement. This will be, gosh, I've numerous. I can't remember how many I've done, 3 all, as far as, free opportunities, but then also paid opportunities. There's always something to do. And if there's not, that's the benefit of reaching out to network and saying, hey, who needs help? That's really great.
Yeah, it's so true. That's, I think, thank you for bringing that up, because we do constantly watch for opportunities outside of the class to get our students more coaching experience. And I think I've probably placed 20 of them this year in some kind of a coaching engagement. So, and again, to Megan's point, some of it's paid, some of it's not paid. But that's okay, because it's all experience and it's all adding to your bio. So,
I mean, I had the opportunity to coach somebody who was a business owner during the beginning of the conflict in the Ukraine. I mean, how many opportunities do you get to do something like that? It was fascinating, just amazing.
yeah. And that's another reason I'm so happy to be affiliated with the School of Management, because they do a lot of domestic and international projects, and they use our coaches all the time. Even our MBA program uses our coaches. So, and those two, the ones I just mentioned, they are paid. So just to close up the whole certification loop, we do align ourselves with an organization called GSAC. They actually set out to do what ICF started to do years and years ago, before they became a money machine. And that is really to add rigor and science and credibility behind the field of coaching. So it's GSAEC, I can never remember. It's Graduate School Alliance of Education, Coaching and Education. But it's a nonprofit, and I mean nonprofit. No one takes a salary, and that's important to me. And they don't charge people to join. So if you join this program, you're automatically a member, and university pays for it. So, that's why we haven't gotten with ICF, and why I don't plan on going with ICF. I don't think, until I am convinced it's the best thing for our graduates, I'm not doing it. And I'm 100% convinced it's not the best thing. Okay, it is remote. You'll get lots of coaching hours, and all those coaching hours, track them. They will apply for, if you decide to go through ICF, they'll apply. And then of course, I think there's 26 classes throughout the 8 months. And I think in those 26, you coach 24 of the 26. So you're going to walk out with a ton of experience. All right. This was where the 2 student testimonials, where I was going to have Megan talk. But let me just jump in and talk about the 4 courses. So course number 1, October 1st to November 19th. This program was created for full-time working adults. So as Megan said, it was possible for her to actually go through the certification and have the crazy personal life that she has. She's got a lot of stuff going on, but it's possible. I don't assign homework. I sometimes send videos, but I want to be very, very careful, because the people who come through this program generally are busy, generally working full-time. And so November 19th, we are done with the first course, and we don't come back until January 7th. So we take the holidays off. The Hogan certification, the optional certification, is in the middle of there, but it's 4 half days. I think it's right after Thanksgiving this year. But I can get those dates for sure. In January, we take a deep dive of assessment and feedback. Starting in February, we have a course called Advanced Coaching Topics. And this is where you really go from being a good coach to a great coach. it's where we get into the psychology behind coaching, the cognitive behavior, the neuroscience, speech acts, adult learning, all of those. And then course number 4 is from April 8th till May 13th. And that's a practicum. And that's where you find 2 real world people to coach through the whole coaching process, beginning to end, including contracting all the way to transitioning. And you have your own faculty coach helping you with it. So you'll get one-on-one coaching during this class. Okay. Oh yes, time zone. Thank you for answering that, Megan. All right. Okay, so Tuesdays from 6 to 9. There's a lot of large group exercise followed by sorry, I can't talk today. Large group exercises and conversation at the beginning, and then you move into your small coaching circles where you, like Megan said, there's 3 of you plus a faculty coach. I use all kinds of strategies to make this interesting. It's really important for people to not feel bored. And actually, Megan, one of the questions that people ask all the time is, how can you be online from 6 to 9 and stay awake? What do you say?
never notice the time flying. Like when you are in the hot seat, when you're getting coached, man, sometimes it can feel like forever, right? But what I notice as a faculty coach is that I'm the one keeping track of the time. And the time goes by so quickly, that large group conversation usually is about an hour or so, you'd say, until probably about 7 o'clock. And then there's a little bit of a break, maybe 5-10 minutes, just, to do whatever you got to do, get a drink of water before your coaching sessions. Then usually the folks will get together and do small breakout groups, have a conversation briefly about what was discussed, and then jump right into coaching. Sometimes you're not, obligated to stop at 9 either. There were a couple times where I was going through the program and my coaching sessions went until, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Did that help, Marsha?
Oh yeah, very much. Thank you so much for that. Again, we're very careful to make sure that this is something that's engaging, it's active. There's not one person I think that has graduated would say that they ever got bored, ever. Because we keep it moving. We got guest speakers, we have breakout conversations, we do all kinds of things to make it engaging. There's also readings. So there's 10 or 11, I think at this point, required books. You don't have to read those to participate in class. Those are the books that we feel are important to start building your library. And if you do read them, wonderful, but we don't assign it. Like Megan said, I send out all kinds of videos to kind of bring points home. The only videos that I really, really need you to watch are the ones of the modeling coaching, but all the others are just kind of add-ons. They're interesting, but you will like them for sure. You'll like them, enjoy them. So most people watch all the videos and they gain from that. I also interview experts. I'm just getting ready to interview, you may know him, Kevin Cashman. I'm going to interview him. There's another guy named Kevin Wieldy, who has one of the required books called Coachability. I've got an interview with him coming up, and I videotape those and I send them out to our students. Okay, Megan, would you continue just watching the
Yes, ma'am.
the chat? Thank you. All right. So here's what you get. You get a lot of stuff. You see the badge in the middle? That's a really cool credential that it goes on LinkedIn. You can put it on your bio, but you get lots of skills, lots of practice. You learn the science, you build your art, you get interactions with other coaches, a long-term network. Again, the badge in the middle was the MicroStrategy and the macro credential. I try to find as many tools and techniques and resources for you that are free. So I think cohort 4 walked out the door with 5 certifications. One was the Hogan, they paid for that, but the other 4 were freebies. I think maybe one of them was like $400. But anyway, I find stuff like this all the time because the more you have walking out the door, the more successful you're going to be. You want tools. You want tools. And we are not selling those tools. It's the only person who's benefiting from these tools will be you. And that's important to mention because there's a lot of coaching programs that have gotten very commercial. So I am working hard to maintain the quality without doing that. Okay. All right, this is GSAC, Graduate School Alliance for Education and Coaching. I've already talked about it, so I'm not going to go through these bullet points, but this is the org that we have aligned ourselves with because we want to make sure that we are participating in constantly adding credibility and rigor to the coaching industry. And I feel very clearly that GSAC does that. And I'm on the board, Sherry Mooney's on the board, so we're very involved in it. And again, the reason I like it so much is it's really high quality and they don't charge money for it. You don't have to pay to keep being certified. Okay, so next steps. If you're interested, here's some information. You can reach out to me. You can go right online to register. You can send a note to the management Chloe email. Whatever it is that you want. If you are serious about this and you really do want to talk more about it, let me know. And I'll make time for you, or we'll find someone who can meet with you quickly. Maddie and Megan, do you have any last closing thoughts or things you think? Oh, there's one thing before I do that. Attendance. Attendance is so important. If you know for sure you're going to miss like 4 days, then it's just not the right time for you. If you're going to miss 1 day and you know it, we can work around that. But any more than that, and the reason why, it's kind of, Megan described the coaching circles earlier. You coach someone and someone coaches you every night. If you're not there, those two people don't get to coach or be coached. On top of that, the faculty coach who's volunteering their time has to help you arrange to do this at another time. And so we've just doubled the workload from their perspective. So it's really, really important to be able for attendance. Okay. Now, Megan and Maddie, any last closing thoughts or questions from you?
I would say my only closing comment is don't miss out on this opportunity. It will absolutely change your life. You have no idea in what ways it will change your life. No going back.
Thank you.
Dive right in.
Thank you. Maddie, anything to say?
Yes, I can just touch briefly on payment options. So you are able to pay in a full installment, or we also offer monthly installments for the course, and you can pay by credit, debit, e-check, and we also offer invoices if your company decides to pay. So thank you.